grandfather was Elvis Presley.
Yes.
And this week is Elvis Week.
Yes, it
So, does your family celebrate Elvis Week?
Behind the closed doors upstairs at Graceland, secrets have been quietly waiting for years. Riley Keough has finally begun to reveal what was never meant for the public. These are not just hidden rooms, but hidden truths about Elvis Presley himself. What exactly has been kept out of sight for so long? The hidden rooms of Graceland. Prior to transforming into one of the top tourist destinations in the United States, following only the White House in popularity, Graceland had a completely different existence. It existed in solitude, tranquility, on a remote plot of land in Memphis, away from the hustle and bustle. Dr. Thomas Moore and his wife Ruth constructed the residence in the late 1930s, consisting of 10 modestly sized rooms. In contrast to the lavish homes of celebrities, the house exuded a subtle elegance with its white columns, arched windows, and expansive porch that conveyed a sense of tranquility, simplicity, and southern allure. The house exuded a sense of coziness rather than luxury. In the late 1950s, a significant shift occurred. Elvis Presley, despite only being in his early 20s, had already gained global fame. Fans constantly trailed him, while cameras snapped away. His existence was filled with noise, activity, and chaos. However, beneath all the commotion, he remained a weary young man seeking solace. He yearned for a sanctuary where he could unwind and be in solitude. He was drawn to Graceland not because of its grandeur or beauty, but because of the peacefulness and seclusion it offered. The tranquility and spaciousness created a sense of solitude and escape from the outside world. At the time, he purchased the house for a high price, but his motivation was straightforward. He was not seeking to impress anyone, he simply desired tranquility. But as soon as he settled in, the house gradually started to transform. Over time, Graceland evolved into more than a mere residence. It transformed into a mirror image of Elvis's persona. Each individual room started to embody his unique characteristics. Certain areas were vibrant and daring, while others boasted eccentricity and intrigue. The renowned Jungle Room, adorned with its rich green carpeting and substantial furnishings, seemed like a fantasy from a different realm. In a separate space, whimsical patterns introduced an element of amusement and gentleness. Each and every intersection held a tale of his identity. However, as the noise level in the house increased and people became more animated, Elvis started to become more introspective and withdrawn. He began to distance himself from others. The lower level of the residence bustled with activity as friends came and went. Staff hurried about, and music filled the air. However, the upper floor presented a contrasting scene of tranquility and solitude. His retreat was upstairs. Today, as individuals wander through Graceland, various aspects of his existence come into view. His music recordings, attire, belongings, and preferred cuisine can all be observed, giving off the illusion of entering his realm. However, a shift occurs once guests reach the stairs. That is the point where all things come to a halt. Individuals are prohibited from proceeding further than that particular location. For many years, the second level of Graceland has been off limits. It is not simply off limits, but also safeguarded. Regardless of the visitor's status, the response remains consistent. Access to the upper floor is denied. This choice was not made to seek attention or create intrigue. It was made from a place of genuine affection. In the late 1970s, when Elvis passed on, his father Vernon Presley decided to keep the upstairs part of the house locked and inaccessible to the public. He felt that the area was too intimate and private to be put on display. It was the place where his son had experienced real life. It was his sanctuary, a place for solace, innovation, and confronting challenges. It contained secrets unknown to others. It was never intended to be a tourist attraction, but rather to stay pure and undisturbed, and thus it has remained unchanged. Everything in those rooms is still in its original state. The bedroom has not been altered in any way, clothing is still hanging in the closet, and personal belongings remain where they were placed. By the bed, a book remains undisturbed. Even the minor details have been left untouched. There appears to be a pause in time at that location. After Lisa Marie Presley inherited the house, she made a decision to respect her grandfather's desire. She recognized that there are certain places that should remain private and not be exposed to the public eye. Graceland is now in the hands of Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, who views the upstairs as a meaningful and personal aspect of the iconic house.
The house, and there's just this like sort of love that just doesn't stop, and I really love that, and it makes the house feel, you know, it's alive. So
it's all about making a link. When she was a young girl, she was intrigued by the closed rooms in the house. While others were busy exploring the rest of the house, she was fixated on what lay beyond the staircase. Despite knowing she wasn't supposed to, she attempted to go upstairs multiple times. Upon finally gaining access, she was met with a lack of noise or excitement. And that's why she decided to speak up about what's upstairs. Upstairs, at Graceland, on the peaceful second level of Graceland, there exists a sensation that defies explanation. It is gentle, quiet, and profoundly intimate. The commotion from the lower floor never penetrates this space. The atmosphere seems denser, as if time has come to a halt. Upstairs in a bedroom, the lighting is subdued. The space is understated, not ostentatious or overpowering. A subtle aroma of cologne lingers, soft and recognizable, almost as if it's always been there. It was here that Riley Keough used to spend time alone, absorbing her surroundings in silence. She had always been curious about her grandfather, Elvis Presley, even though they had never met. The feeling of closeness to him struck her suddenly, not through tales or tunes, but through the stillness of the space surrounding her. It seemed as if he had just left the room briefly. Nothing had been displaced. The bed stayed untouched, adorned with untouched silk sheets. Personal belongings were frozen in their original positions, undisturbed. Memories lingered in every nook of the room. A well-used leather Bible lay on a small table next to the bed, containing dog-eared pages with highlighted passages. The reader seemed to be on a quest for understanding, finding solace in his personal interpretation of faith. On the opposite end, there were tiny vials of medicine. A few remained unopened, undisturbed. They sat in stillness, conveying their own tale of suffering and hardship, of challenging days. What impacted Riley the most was not visible on the surfaces or easily noticed. It was concealed beneath the bed. In that place, she came across a plain shoebox. It appeared unremarkable, coated in dust, with a label clearly stating not to open it. She hesitated for a moment. It seemed like a boundary that should not be violated. She was driven by an inner force. She sensed that it was not merely about crossing a limit. It was more about comprehension. It was about respecting something genuine and sincere. Therefore, she decided to open it. Letters were found within. The letters were never delivered, having been written, folded, and concealed. One was intended for her mother, while the other was meant for any future reader. These were not meant to be shared, but rather held close and out of sight. Riley decided to keep the contents of the letters to herself, as they were deeply intimate and meaningful to her. However, she did mention that the letters had a profound impact on her perception of her grandfather. He had transcended mere myth and become something more. He transformed into a mortal being. He was a man with strong emotions. He faced his challenges in silence. He sought tranquility in a world that always had its eyes on him. She gazed at the room and observed that everything was exactly as she had left it. All objects were in their original place, undisturbed and unchanged. It seemed as though time had stopped in the room, frozen in a state of anticipation. And later on, she stumbled upon something new, a basic notepad. The book contained various writings spread throughout its pages. Certain segments resembled prayers, while others seemed like reflections penned during periods of unease, possibly during sleepless nights. The prose was not meticulously crafted, but rather genuine and spontaneous. A solitary word was repetitively inscribed on a singular page. The repetition of a single word multiple times, without cost. That term lingered in her thoughts. It portrayed a narrative that couldn't be captured on a stage or under a spotlight. It demonstrated how even a person adored by many could experience confinement. Confined by popularity, confined by societal pressures, confined by a lifestyle that had become overwhelming. People downstairs witnessed the achievement. They observed melodies, accolades, and joyful instances. However, above ground, there is another thing to discover. There exists a reality. Over the years, Riley has discussed with caution the challenges that have affected her family. While some may label it as a curse, she perceives it in a unique light. She recognizes that what others perceive as a curse is actually a legacy of suffering. This suffering is influenced by fame, tragedy, and expectations. Passing down from one era to the next, it has proven difficult to evade those emotions. She is taking a new approach by confronting it and openly discussing it. She is opting for transparency and a willingness to comprehend rather than conceal. The items discovered in that room are not included in any guided tour. They are not showcased to the public behind protective glass. These objects are neither displayed nor described. They sit undisturbed, unnoticed, and silent in their original locations. Where Elvis went to find peace. Hidden on the second floor of Graceland is a secretive location that few were aware of. This area is not included in any tour or marked on any map. For decades, it remained undiscovered, concealed behind an unnoticed door. Riley Keough was not familiar with it, not even once. She only found it after thoroughly investigating the upstairs hallway. She went by the bedroom, she strolled by the bathroom, she went past the closet, and finally, at the end, she found it, a basic entranceway. Simple to overlook, simple to disregard. However, there was something truly exceptional hidden beneath the surface. Riley eventually referred to it as the Room of Silence. Upon entering through the door, she was greeted not by anything magnificent or awe-inspiring. Rather, she found herself in a compact and confined area. Devoid of any windows, the room seemed isolated from the external surroundings, almost resembling a peaceful sanctuary. There wasn't a bed present. There was an absence of vibrant illumination. There was only a faint light coming from a lone lamp, creating a peaceful atmosphere in the room. The cushions on the floor were arranged in a gentle curve, creating a cozy and welcoming environment. A small device in the corner emitted a constant, gentle noise, adding to the soothing ambiance in the room. The walls were bare and devoid of any ornamentation. No photos allowed. No interruptions allowed. The empty room seemed paradoxically full. Elvis Presley would retreat to this place whenever he needed to go incognito, not just from the earthly realm, but from all things. He utilized this area as a sanctuary for solitude, reflection, and relaxation. It served as his sacred space for meditation and introspection. It was where he delved into literature concerning spirituality, positivity, and the existential meaning of existence. The books stored there were well loved, their pages creased from frequent perusal, adorned with annotations made during moments of serenity. The books are still kept on the shelves. The words contained within them remain unaltered. This space did not revolve around celebrity. Music was not the primary focus. It didn't matter if anyone knew. Elvis was not the shining star within the confines of this modest area. He was not the entertainer, nor the well-known figure being admired by the world. He was nothing but a mere mortal, a man searching for serenity. He found solace in the room, his sanctuary from the chaos of the outside world. In moments of overwhelming noise and burden, he sought refuge in its tranquil embrace. Sitting amidst the plush cushions, enveloped in quietude, he finally allowed himself to unwind. His life had reached a point of extreme stress that he often overlooked. The level of his popularity was unprecedented in the world back then. He was constantly under the gaze of the public wherever he went. His every action was scrutinized, and his every move was a topic of discussion. There was no way out. Everywhere else, except for this location. When Riley entered the room, she experienced an unexpected emotion. It wasn't sadness or fear, but rather a more gentle and profound sensation. It was a serene feeling. However, there is a strong element of truth to it. She realized that the purpose of this room wasn't to make a statement or show off. It wasn't meant to be displayed. Rather, it was constructed for safety. It served as a peaceful barrier against the chaos of everyday life. Only a handful of family members had ventured into this area before. It was considered highly personal, not due to its contents, but due to its significance within the family. It symbolized calmness. It symbolized relaxation. It portrayed a person struggling to maintain their identity. Standing there, Riley experienced a sense of entering a hidden aspect of her grandfather that had remained unknown to the world. It was neither his vocal tone, nor his popularity, nor his outward appearance, but the core of his being. The space was filled with a serene tranquility that was not devoid of meaning. It seemed brimming with contemplation, exploration, and the remnants of peaceful memories. Even individuals who possess abundant wealth and success may still feel a sense of lack and strive for something beyond their current achievements. And that which was sought after was tranquility. The recent revelation alters the public perception of Elvis Presley. It suggests that he did not succumb to the trappings of fame, but instead was navigating his way through it. Rather than seeking constant attention, he was actually seeking a means to break free from it. And yet, after all these revelations, rumors still spread. Questions were asked and theories emerged. What were these about? The secret tunnel. For numerous years, tales of Graceland have been passed down from generation to generation. Some narratives are straightforward and accurate, while others resemble faint echoes of the past. Despite the varying accounts, one concept has endured, maintaining its presence through the ages and never completely disappearing. This tale does not focus on the legacy that Elvis Presley left behind. It's concerning his potential whereabouts. The concept is subtle yet impactful, hinting at the possibility of a concealed passageway underneath Graceland. This hidden route, expertly constructed, could guide one away from the residence to a tranquil location, far removed from the hustle and bustle. Initially, it may seem difficult to trust. However, there are individuals who believe it can be achievable. According to the tale, Elvis, amidst all the fame and recognition, may have been seeking a means of liberation. This not merely a pause or relaxation, but an actual getaway, a route for him to disappear without detection, a method to break free from the burdensome life he was leading. And per this concept, the starting point of the tunnel could potentially be located on the premise, possibly in close proximity to the serene garden space, and extend well past the residence. The tunnel would guide individuals to a secluded and peaceful destination, distant from crowds and surveillance. Some people believe it was designed for protection, a secret means of transportation without being tracked. Others speculate that it served a different purpose, an alternative strategy, a discreet escape route from a constantly fast-paced life. This belief grew more intense following his death in the late 1970s. During this period, rumors surfaced about an individual resembling Elvis being spotted at a Memphis airport. Allegedly, the man was using a fake name previously used by Elvis himself. The tale rapidly circulated. Before long, there were increasing reports of sightings of him. Witnesses asserted that they had spotted him in various locations throughout the nation. Yet whether it be in dining establishments, government buildings, or even at concerts where his music was being played. These stories have not been verified. However, none of them completely vanished. They remained in place, developing gradually, resembling a subdued optimism. The concept of the tunnel was woven into these narratives, molding them into intriguing tales that sparked curiosity about the possibility of his secret escape. In the late 1980s, a new twist was added to the mystery. An author alleged discovering a concealed entrance on the land that appeared to have been sealed off and abandoned. Despite the lack of evidence or images to support this claim, the tale persisted. It found a place in the thoughts of those who were eager to accept it. The official blueprints for Graceland do not include any indication of a tunnel. There is no concrete evidence to support the existence of such a hidden passage. However, many believe that there may be undiscovered secrets within the house, as certain areas have been intentionally secluded from the public eye for an extended period of time. Even the employees who were employed at the residence have spoken cautiously. Several claim that everything seemed normal. However, a few have mentioned that there were certain areas of the house they were never granted access to. The hint of secrecy helps to maintain interest in the concept. Riley Keough tends to avoid discussing the matter, choosing not to acknowledge or refute it. Instead, she directs her focus elsewhere. She decides to concentrate on uncovering the real identity of her grandfather, and perhaps that is where the true significance resides. The tale of the tunnel might not actually involve a physical passageway beneath the surface. It could instead revolve around a more profound concept, an unspoken desire or a faint glimmer of hope for a potential means of escape. After gaining insight into all aspects of Elvis, including his moments of solitude, his quest for tranquility, and his desire for stillness, the concept of seeking refuge doesn't seem out of place. It evokes a sense of humanity. It seems like this is something that may have crossed his mind on sleepless nights, when the outside world was still buzzing, when the commotion was incessant. when the burden of being famous seemed too much to bear. The tunnel, if it exists or not, transforms into a representation of liberty. But this wasn't the end of these theories. The legacy Elvis left behind. When Elvis Presley passed away, he didn't just leave a musical legacy, but something far more significant. His impact extended beyond his music, with his house becoming a pilgrimage site for many visitors from distant places. His voice resonated with people of all ages, creating a lasting connection. At the heart of this legacy was his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. For a long time, the common belief was that the story was straightforward. All that he created was inherited by her. She bore his name, memories, and the world that he left behind. Over the course of time, subtle doubts started to emerge. There was speculation among certain individuals about the possibility of additional details to the narrative. They inquired about the existence of any undisclosed offspring of Elvis, kept away from the scrutiny of the general public. These rumors gradually traveled, circulating among admirers, periodicals, and personal discussions. Several individuals came forward declaring ties to him. A few asserted to be his offspring. They presented ancient photographs, correspondence, and snippets they thought were evidence. Some attempted a scientific approach, seeking solutions through experimentation and analysis. Many of these assertions dissipated as swiftly as they materialized. Some people started making more noise, grabbing people's attention. There was even a person who requested to examine Elvis's remains, seeking answers. However, the request was denied. Another individual insisted on having similarities with an object supposedly owned by Elvis. But, as with numerous other claims, this one did not progress. The property stayed calm and serene. They refused to validate the rumors. They made sure not to let them gain momentum. Instead, they concentrated on safeguarding their established accomplishments. Lisa Marie's death in the early 2020s added an extra layer of complexity to the situation. It marked a turning point, with her daughter Riley Keough suddenly shouldering the burden of taking care of everything, from Graceland to other matters. However, the shift was not entirely seamless. Soon after, there was a legal dispute that arose. The issue revolved around a modification that had been made to a trust many years ago, which designated Riley as the primary beneficiary. Priscilla Presley, who is Elvis's ex-wife and Lisa Marie's mother, raised doubts about the validity of this alteration. The issue was eventually resolved in a discreet manner, out of the public's view. However, it did uncover something significant. The demonstration revealed the intricate nature of this inheritance, combining affection and historical significance. It goes beyond recollections, encompassing duties, possessions, and safeguarding. The property consists of various items, containing his identity, likeness, compositions, and all the aspects associated with his existence. It carries not just sentimental worth, but also holds significant monetary value. Every assertion carries significance. Those who claim to be members of his family are not only seeking acknowledgement, but also entering a realm of significant importance that requires safeguarding. Due to this, Riley, similar to her mother, has opted to keep silent regarding these allegations. She has ignored them and has not allowed any room for gossip. There could be various reasons for her silence. It could serve as a means of safeguarding her loved ones. Protecting the heritage could be one reason for considering this alternative. Alternatively, it could just be a method of maintaining harmony. Nevertheless, the inquiries persist. There are rumors about Elvis having romantic involvements both prior to and during his marriage. These tales revolve around intimate moments and hidden aspects of his personal life. Upon closer inspection, however, many of these stories lack credibility. Nevertheless, they persistently resurface. This occurs due to the fact that Elvis was always more than just an average individual. He transformed into a greater entity. And as someone's fame grows, the curiosity of the world only intensifies. Individuals persist in their quest to uncover fresh, obscured revelations. However, amidst all of this chaos, there is one undeniable certainty. Riley Keough now holds the key to preserving his legacy for the future. She not only bears the name, but also accepts the duty that is attached to it. She serves as the protector of all his legacy. He never stopped singing. Numerous individuals are curious about whether Elvis Presley ceased making music towards the conclusion of his life. The clear response is no. Despite his declining health and shrinking world, He continued to perform vocals. He always had music by his side. However, circumstances are different now. He found himself no longer in the spotlight of grand studios. The days of big stage performances were behind him. His music took on a more intimate tone, becoming a private and personal affair. It now resided within the walls of his home, filling the serene rooms upstairs at Graceland. In the mid-1970s, shortly before he passed on, Elvis Presley changed his approach to recording music. Instead of using a traditional studio, he opted to work at home in the famous Jungle Room. The resulting sessions were stripped down yet impactful, with a raw and authentic sound that captured the emotion of the moment. Music from that era conveyed a more profound emotion. A portion of the works were eventually shared with the audience, while others remained concealed. Some projects were left incomplete, halted during the creative process. These pieces were raw and genuine, lacking refinement. Individuals who collaborated with him during those meetings recall his approach to music in the last years. Felton Jarvis, his producer for a long time, mentioned that Elvis would frequently lay down tracks in a calm manner, at times during the late hours of the night and occasionally in solitude. He would spend his time either playing the piano or concentrating on his singing. He wasn't always making recordings to share with others. Occasionally, he would make recordings solely for his own enjoyment. He would play songs repeatedly, paying close attention, making minor tweaks in search of the precise emotion he desired. His focus was not on achieving flawlessness for an audience, but rather on conveying his emotions. There are rumors indicating that not all recordings from that era were submitted to the record company. A few were held back for personal use. It's possible that some have slipped through the cracks and been overlooked. There's a chance that a few are out there somewhere, lying low. This has resulted in a subtle mystery. Where have those recordings disappeared to at this moment? There are those who speculate that the solution to the mystery could lie within the confines of Graceland, particularly in the secluded upper rooms that have been off limits for a significant period of time. Whispers have circulated about antiquated recording devices, unmarked tapes, and mysterious recordings that have yet to see the light of day. There has been no official confirmation. However, the concept seems feasible, especially considering the strong passion Elvis had for his music. Today, Riley Keough holds the responsibility of preserving his legacy. Taking on a significant burden, she is entrusted with a task that goes beyond simply overseeing a renowned name. Her role involves safeguarding something of profound intimacy. She has emphasized that not all areas of Graceland have been thoroughly organized or investigated yet. Some items are still undergoing close examination. Historical letters, personal notes, and recordings are all being analyzed and conserved. This task requires a significant investment of time. It demands patience and reverence. Riley has decided to proceed cautiously. She is taking her time before revealing everything to the public. Rather than making private moments public, she is dedicated to preserving history with care and consideration. She collaborates with specialists who safeguard precious materials by converting delicate objects into digital archives that can endure over time. This encompasses music, literature, and recollections that could otherwise diminish. Her aim is not to seek the spotlight. She aims to seek the truth. She also desires for individuals to view Elvis from a more profound perspective, not just as a celebrity, but as a person who significantly influenced music, culture, and personal identity. She advocates for initiatives that closely examine his life, delving into his impact and experiences. She holds her family's narrative dearly in her heart, while acknowledging the challenges that have impacted her loved ones. Rather than avoiding them, she confronts these struggles with sincerity and inner resilience. Amidst everything that has occurred, one aspect comes into focus. Elvis always remained in touch with his artistic side. In his last days, despite facing challenges, he clung to music. He persisted in singing, recording, and seeking significance through sound.